It is fantasy football crunch time now as we come right down to the end. Week 9 in the NFL means, I mean, not a whole lot. I was going, means right down to playoff time, whatever. Like, we still have a ways to go. But it does mean that it's time to really get to stepping and really start pushing. Unlike last week, there isn't really a obvious, okay, well, these are going to be game breakers for you in terms of fantasy football. I think this is just going to be let's tinker a little bit with our rosters here this week. And so we will begin at the quarterback position. And Bo Nix is facing the Baltimore Ravens. If you missed the video game stream we did yesterday, talking with Gino about the Denver football team and how effective they have been lately, Bo Nix has kind of been at the center of that. He put up 30 fantasy points last week. Now he's facing a Baltimore Ravens defense that just gave up 300 passing yards to Jameis Winston. And so as we talked about the other day, this Baltimore passing defense has a lot of holes and needs a lot of work. And I think Bo Nix has an opportunity to come in and have another good day in what should be a bit of a weird to say, high-flying matchup, so to speak, just based off of the inefficiencies of the Baltimore defense and how well I think they're going to be able to kind of exploit those, but also how well Baltimore can play on offense. So I think we end up with another pretty high-scoring game here this week. I think the biggest pickup of the week is still similar to last week, where we told you to get this guy. You need to get him again. This is going to be the last chance to have him. Cedric Tillman, 20% owned. He is the apple of Jameis Winston's eye in Jameis's return. It is a bit of a tougher matchup against the LA Chargers this week, but I do still think he is worth an ad as a pretty talented cat who is a potential number one option in an NFL offense that's actually kind of getting a little bit better. Also, I'm just realizing now I left the TV on, so we're seeing some flashing there. So this one's been all over the place today. So sorry about that. At running back, this is where it gets to there isn't really a whole lot, because there wasn't one standout to me anyway for who you should pick up in fantasy football. And so all I put for this is the handcuffs. So look at who you got. If you are desperate for someone to throw into your lineup, it's going to be a tough one, man. But look at Ray Davis, look at Justice Hill, look at Jaleel McLaughlin, look at Blake Corum, and look at Isaac Arendo. I think probably I would rate them in that order in terms of usefulness going into next week. McLaughlin didn't get a whole lot of volume, but he fell into the end zone, and so that helped him out. Ray Davis had a big week a couple of weeks ago and really showed his value there. And yes, James Cook is still going to get a lot of this offense, but I still think that Ray Davis gets a little bit. And Justice Hill has the opportunity every now and then to pop in and pick up some big plays for this team. So I think that is probably that would be the way I would rank those guys in terms of picking them up and actually having effectiveness this week. At tight end, Taysom Hill. He is 30% owned. I think he's going to be more involved in this offense as the season goes along and as he stays a little bit healthier. I think that he just kind of got eased into it last week. But again, this is an offense that has struggled, and they were using him a ton when he was healthy. And so to be able to get that kind of production at tight end, I think is going to be really special for you. And another one is Noah Fant, also 30% owned. 4 targets at least in the last 3 weeks. Facing the Rams, who have struggled against tight ends this year, I think that's a matchup that you can exploit. So go with Noah Fant. And for your defense here this week, the defenses... it was kind of just the main ones last week that ended up getting the job done. This week, in terms of the defense, and by the way, the cutoff is 35% owned. The obvious one here is 34% owned. It is the New Orleans Saints going up against Bryce Young, and now a Deontay Johnson-less Carolina Panthers team that has a little bit of struggles going on. Also, it's tough to trust the Cincinnati defense after Jalen Hurts did that to them on Sunday, but them going up against the Raiders, they are 32% owned, and that's probably it, I would say, for fantasy defenses that are available this week.